Hello Oswego, my name is Michael Pastella. I am coming to you in the WBUC Student TV studio. Today I am joined in the studio with the New York State United Teacher President, Melinda Person. Ms. Person, welcome to Oswego. We're so excited to have you here today. So, Ms. Person, would you be able to help us understand a little about what the NYSUT organization does for education across the state?
Sure. So NYSUT, New York State United Teachers, we represent nearly 700,000 members across the state. And we represent people that work in schools, like here, teachers, paraprofessionals, janitors, school bus drivers. We also represent all of the staff on the SUNY campuses and the community colleges throughout the state, CUNY down in New York City. And then we also represent a variety of members in the private sector. So we represent nurses, lifeguards on Jones Beach down on Long Island, and a variety of different county services. So we advocate for all of these members in Albany and in Washington to make sure that you have amazing schools like this.
Yeah. So it really is a statewide organization that covers multiple different disciplines and practices. So.
Yes, we are. 2 days ago I was in Jamestown, as far as you can go in one direction, and then last week I was out in Suffolk County on Long Island. We go all the way up to the tip of the North Country. We are everywhere.
Very cool, very cool. So, being in New York State, a state that has high education standards and outcomes, how important do you feel having a strong union is to education?
So a strong union gives a voice to the people who do the work on the front lines, the educators, your teachers. And so it's really important that teachers have a say when people are making education policy, because they are the people who know what's best for their students and can advocate for the working conditions that are your learning conditions.
Yeah, the unions are very important in establishing those, and so we're very appreciative of the work that you do.
Thanks.
And so, Ms. Person, would you be able to share some insight about your professional experiences and how that has prepared you for this role?
Sure. So my first experience out of college was as a teacher. So that was an amazing experience that exposed me to some of the challenges that our educators face. And after that, I worked in the governor's budget office, and then I worked in the legislature and learned a whole lot about how bills become laws and how to make change, how to advocate, and how to get things done so that you can benefit the public schools, which is something I feel very strongly about.
Very cool. And so just out of personal curiosity, what subject did you teach when you were a teacher?
6th grade.
Oh, very cool.
And math was my thing,
Nice.
my specialty.
I like math too. So
Greatest common factor is I still
Very
teach. I got to
important.
teach that to my son yesterday. It was a highlight of my evening.
Very cool. So reading and watching the news, education is often one of the most discussed topics. So what do you see as some of the biggest issues today facing the K through 12 education system?
One of the issues that we're fighting about right now this year is funding for our schools. And there's a formula that drives all of the school funding from the state to school districts called foundation aid. And so we have been fighting for many years to make sure that schools get that money. And so we are involved in an ambitious campaign running around the state talking to school staff and our members and school superintendents and school board members about the importance of fully funding that formula. We want to make sure that the public education that we have here in the state of New York maintains the high quality and caliber that it is now.
Cool. So for those who may be interested, how has COVID maybe impacted that formula and the funding that schools get?
So during COVID, there was some money provided by the federal government through the American Rescue Plan for a couple of years, and that money is coming to an end. And that's why state funding is all the more important that it be sustained and that it continue to grow with the growing costs of inflation. And this year, the inflation's high, and so costs for schools to operate are high. And so we want to make sure that the CPI, Consumer Price Index, continues to fund our schools so that we can continue to provide the amazing education we're providing here.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of factors involved in determining that formula, and so it's good that we're looking at all aspects of that.
Yes.
So Our district has recently been focused on numerous initiatives related to health and wellness, and so one of the OCTA members at the high school is providing yoga sessions for both staff and students after school. And so I read that you also teach yoga in your free time, and so how do some of these mindful activities keep teachers, staff, and students more focused, ready to teach or learn more effectively?
So I'm a big fan of yoga and teach yoga. I think what is important to happen here in our schools is something that we call brain breaks. It's mindfulness practices that give students and staff a time to reset and to activate the part of the brain that there's a whole body of neuroscience behind this, that we can learn best and we can regulate our emotions and our stress levels by just taking a few minutes several times throughout the day to pause and breathe, and or to pause and do jumping jacks or a go noodle if you're in the elementary school, right? To do something that breaks up the sort of rigor of constant learning, right? And trying to break up the rigor of academics with some pause and some intentional breath work. And it really makes a huge difference in terms of not only your overall happiness, but also your ability to focus on what you're learning.
Yeah, and maybe like that centering of like oneself, like that you do during a brain break. Also maybe like not only would it help like attention span in class, but maybe it could help with like discipline problems too, or something like that, and that it gives kids like that time to express themselves or like center themselves a little more. So
yeah, everybody needs a break. We were not built to just work. We actually, the body works best when there's intentional time set aside to pause.
Yeah. So very cool. So I believe we are one of the first stops for you here in Oswego. So what are some things that are you excited to hopefully see around the school today?
Well, I saw that you have some folks from your musical who are going to sing, which I'm a big fan of middle and high school theater. So excited to hear that. I'm excited to see your health center. And I saw that you have some really interesting experiential learning. You have the forensics class I'm going to visit and a wood shop. So those are the things that light me up and that get me excited about school.
Yeah, and it's Music in Our Schools Month, and our music program here is really solid. At the last board meeting, they actually came and sang a few songs and did a really good job. So awesome. I think you're in for a real treat. So
I can't wait. What was the musical?
I believe the musical was Guys and Dolls this year.
Okay.
It was very good. I went and saw it. It was very good. So before we conclude for today, I was hoping you would participate in a little rapid fire questioning. They're not hard questions, but so like the first one is, what's your favorite movie?
The Notebook. I'm a romantic.
Fair. What's your favorite school subject?
Math and U.S. history. I'd have to have two.
Cool. So who's your favorite musical artist?
Pink.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid. My mom likes her too. So
my mom likes her too.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food, do drinks count? Coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee.
Cool. Yeah, I know a lot of people like coffee. So, who's your favorite sports team?
Go Bills.
Oh, I'm a Jets fan.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Jets fan.
Yeah. I know. Not many of us around. So. What's your dream vacation spot?
I love national parks.
Cool.
So, almost any national park.
Cool. I went to the one up in Maine, Acadia, last summer, and that was perfect.
I went there 2 years ago. It's beautiful.
Yeah, super cool. And so, what's your favorite thing to do on a day off?
Go outside with my kids. Like hiking or biking or any of those kinds of things.
Nice. So, Mrs. Person, I want to thank you again for coming to Oswego and taking a few minutes to meet with me today. I hope you have a great visit and enjoy your time here in Oswego. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This was great.